California Congressman Adam Schiff, Democrat from California, Hillary Clinton surrogate in the post-debate spin room last night. And if we get Stephen back, guys, in the control room, let me know. I do want to get that question back to him. Let me ask you that question. Is the Clinton family at all fair game, Congressman?
Well, I think you can take issue if wants to with the policies of the Clinton administration. I don't think that's going to be very fruitful, because I think people look back on that administration and realize that we had unparalleled economic prosperity. But if he wants to get into the muck, I think people will recoil from that. And I would urge Secretary Clinton to do what Michelle Obama has said, and that is if Donald Trump goes low, she should go high.
He may have had his best moment last night off the top of that debate when he went after Secretary Clinton on TPP. Take a look.
You called it the gold standard. You called it the gold standard of trade deals. You said it's the finest deal you've ever seen.
No.
And then you heard what I said about it, and all of a sudden you were against it.
Well, Donald, I know you live in your own reality, but that is not the facts. The facts are, I did say I hoped it would be a good deal.
Congressman, PolitiFact has noted this, and so have others. She did, in fact, call the TPP, quote, the gold standard. She said that. Why is her answer not better when it comes to trade questions?
Well, look, I think trade is a very difficult issue, not just for Secretary Clinton. It is, as you could see from the snippet you played earlier, a tough one for Paul Ryan, who is a champion of that deal. But I think the Secretary's made clear she's opposed to TPP as the Secretary of State and working for the President. She tried to help in the negotiation of the agreement. Ultimately, she decided it wasn't good enough. I'm not sure there's much more that she can say on that subject, except that she has a broader vision. She can articulate where she sees trade playing into that, how trade has to be fair. But there are broader issues, including what will the candidates do, for example, on creation of new jobs, on tax policy. And on those issues, I think she was very strong last night. The problem I think Donald Trump had is he may have started out with what he thought was a good issue, but he didn't have the discipline, he didn't have the preparedness to really stick to any particular theme. And that debate, it was very hard to tell what was his message. He was really mostly flailing, and I think the ultimate goal that he had of appearing presidential is one that he was unable to succeed with.
Hillary Clinton, as you know, has struggled a bit with millennial voters, these younger voters. Just last month, she had a 29-point margin, and you can see it there among likely voters under the age of 35. It's now a 10-point margin. Save a mention of debt-free college last night. It did not seem as if she spent a great deal of time talking about issues that would resonate with these younger voters. Why not?
Well, I think a lot of what she talked about and a lot of the contrast actually will resonate with the millennial voters. What she talked about in terms of what Donald Trump has said about climate change, the denial of climate change, her comments about free public education so that people aren't barred because they can't afford it to going on to higher ed. These things do resonate. More than that, I think millennials seeing Donald Trump still double down on this birther stuff. All of these kind of racist positions and views that he has articulated are deeply repellent to millennials. So I think the challenge is not winning them over in this debate. I think she did that. The challenge is motivating people to turn out on Election Day. And there is a very high bar. President Obama, when he ran, was young. He was hip. I think he had a connection.
Are you saying she's not hip?
She's maybe not as hip as Barack Obama, but then who is? He's pretty extraordinary when it comes to being able to fit in with millennials, much his junior. So, motivating those young people is going to be enormously important. I think she did and said the right things. I think Donald Trump actually helped a great deal last night. But I think the campaign wisely is investing in a real ground effort to make sure that people turn out and vote. It's going to be critical.
Really quickly, as you know, polls have been tightening nationally. They've been tightening in some key swing states as well, Ohio, Colorado, Florida. You guys have spent well over $100 million. That does not include all of the money that's been spent by groups that align themselves with your campaign. Why aren't you guys doing better? Why are the polls as tight as they are?
You know, I think that the days where a candidate can run away with an election are really behind us. We are, for better or worse, a politically divided country. Presidential races recently, and I think into the future, are going to be very close. I do think as a result of this debate, those that were tuning in, really, tuning in a serious way for the first time, are going to move in Secretary Clinton's direction. People who were flirting with the idea of supporting a third-party candidate are going to recognize she's a great choice. I think that will solidify a lot of her support. So I think we will see again some of that trend we saw after the Democratic convention. But I really think, Craig, that, gone are the days when we're going to have blowout presidential elections. We're just too politically divided a nation.
All right. Congressman Adam Schiff from New York. Congressman, thank you for your time.